Sex is not worth sinning for. It's not worth it at all. So disgusting. I mean, if you'd have it with your beloved, it is not disgusting, but if it's randomly with a pervert, a FUCK bastard, it's abomination. It's not worth sinning. It's nothing compared to blessings of peace and love, goodness in life, blessings. And it really doesn't feel good with random ones. It feels sick. I only want it with my beloved, and if ever once in a while, I mean, even if every day it would be like for 1 minute or something, and it's not even desirable like crazy, like people whoredoms go do. It feels a bit good, but only for 1 second, and then it's nothing. It's gone, and especially if it's not with the beloved, it is abomination. It's sickening. I was turned on to my beloved, and I didn't want to sin before my creator, and so I was thinking, how do I help myself, because he's not with me, and I feel sexual, and so I just a bit touched myself in my private part to release the desire that I was having, and I just did a little bit, just touched it, and I released my feelings, and if it was just good for 1 second, and then it was disgusting. It felt sickening. I was thinking I'd rather have my beloved do that to me than myself, but it was just for a moment to release my desire, because I didn't want to sin, and I didn't want to feel that feeling forever. It's very strong, and so I had to make the right choice. And then I asked Creator, I said, Holy One, was that right that I did that when I touched myself? Because my beloved is not with me, and I felt sexual, and I don't want to feel that feeling. It's very strong, and I touched myself just a bit so to feel better. And Creator answered, yes, it is right to do that if your beloved is not with you, and you feel that it is right to touch just a little bit of yourself, just so you would release the feeling and not be very strongly in feeling for your beloved. And so it felt a little bit good for 1 second, then it was disgustingly sickening. I was like disgusted. I was like thinking, it's not worth it. It's not worth sinning ever. If ever you want desire, if you have desire sexual, just touch yourself for a little while and release your feelings, and that's it. And it works. It feels amazingly much better than sinning. Sinning is going to be cursed and sickening and misery. It's not worth sinning ever. Sexuality is nothing with others other than beloved, or if you don't have a beloved, and I mean, for example, I have one, but I'm not with him, but I do feel him, and I did feel sexual, and I just touched myself a little bit, and I felt better, and then sickening. I was sickened, and I said, ugh, I would never want to sin with others. I'd rather touch myself for a little while and get rid of that feeling and be sickening forever than sin and be miserable forever, cursed. And it's very serious sin. It is abomination. People go to hell for that, adultery, for whoredomness. It is a hell-filling sin. Hell-filler does whoredomness with other people, and it doesn't feel good. But if beloved doesn't want to be with you and you feel sexual, just a bit touch yourself and then feel sick forever. Like I do, I feel sick. I am disgusted to misery. But even if my beloved was here, I don't think I would feel that much good. Sex is nothing. What is precious is relationship. It's the being together and talking and doing everything together. That is a good part of life. Sex is just to have babies. That's how I always looked at sex, because in paradise there was no sex. After they sinned, they became sexual because they multiplied to have babies, but before then they just loved each other, seeing each other and talking with each other. That's how they been pleased and glad, not lonely. After sin, they became sexual only to have babies, and that's a good feeling, because for a little while it's a good feeling, especially if it's with your beloved. But if to sin sexually with some random flesh, it is cursed. It is a sickening misery. And so do touch yourself if you feel sexual and release that feeling, and you will be sickened. You will be disgustedly sickened, but not cursed. I hate it. I no more want my beloved after I touch myself. I'm like, really? That's how it feels like? I feel sick, and I'm like, I don't want my beloved even. I'd rather never have sex. But I need to have 2 more babies, so I have to somehow have sex with him, but it doesn't feel good having sex with a mamzer, a whoredom-full, unfaithful betrayer. But only for my precious little ones, I do wait for him. And I don't know how it's going to happen, because it's hard for me to see him, but I don't know if I will see him, but somehow I will be having 2 more babies. Goodwill and wisdom. My last princess is wisdom. My first one is Nathaniela, and my middle one is Orica. And my precious sons are so dear to me. I love them. I do love my sons. I talk about princesses because it's very special, but my sons are pretty also. They're beautiful. And they get to have princess in their life to love, to touch, to see. So beautiful. But it is good. Sexuality is good. But the most beautiful part is to see beauty and to hold beauty in your arms. That's the pretty part. And to give and to go places together, talk together. That's beautiful. And they get to have that, and I'm so glad for them. But I got to have Yeshua and Yahweh, miracle. And that is greater than beloved. When he's wicked, he's not worth anything. He's only waste the more misery. But if he was holy and loving, I would love to have my beloved. But I don't want a stupid one. I want only wise women, holy and faithful. So be in shalom, be in peace of Yahweh, in Yeshua.